Now, the National Commission on Small Arms and Light Weapons has destroyed a total of 1,194 confiscated illicit weapons today at the Sekondi Prisons Park. These weapons were confiscated in the Western and Western North regions. Speaking at a ceremony before the incineration of these weapons, Executive Secretary for the Commission, Jones Bote Aple, indicated that about 89.5% of these weapons seized were foreign-made. A situation, he says, contradicts this year's national composition of 94.9%. He noted that the Commission has taken an aggressive campaign to eradicate the possession of illicit weapons in the country, especially for the elections.
These distraction exercises, sometimes when we do them, we hear the flag in the media. It doesn't take away all illicit weapons in the region. But the objective is to enhance public safety, security, and to communicate to the public that anyone found with illicit weapon will be arrested, will be prosecuted, and your unlicensed weapons will also be destroyed in addition publicly. From Ghana, we've heard many times where people think that weapons that are seized at our entry points, the security services people take them and they don't sometimes account them to the state. But what we are doing today is to let the public know that our security agencies understand the implications of weapons proliferation. The destruction of illicit surplus small arms and light weapons constitutes an important strategy for small arms control worldwide. It is in recognition of such an important exercise that the United Nations itself has set aside July 9th of every year, enjoining countries, UN member countries, to destroy their illicit and surplus weapons. Sometimes when we talk about illicit weapons or proliferation, we think about only the ones that are being used by the criminals. But in other jurisdictions, they are able to determine when their militaries have surplus weapons that they don't need. Some countries destroy them, others donate them to less endowed countries.
That's Mr. Jones Aple there. The Deputy Western Region Minister, Gifty Eugenia Kusi, urged the public to commit to peace as the government does its bit to protect the citizenry.
Who either did not have organization to protect them or use them unlawfully in various crimes, including armed violence. I believe some of those unauthorized persons have been convicted by us, while others are still being prosecuted. The dangers of illicit small arms and armed violence to us as a country and the people cannot be overemphasized. Just cast your mind back to the recent phase of armed violence incidents in Ghana. This is why I am glad to be part of this program to demonstrate the commitment of government in the preventing, combating, and eradicating the proliferation of illicit small arms in the country.
The board chair of the commission, Reverend Professor Paul Frimpong Manso, says the nation cannot compromise on its peace. He disclosed that the Ghana ranks 3rd in Africa on Global Peace Index, a position he notes should not be traded for anything else.
When I was coming to this meeting, I had a chat with the president, and he said the security and the safety of this nation is his pledge, goal, above aim, and I should tell the people of this a shared responsibility. And I also urge the public to volunteer information on criminal activities, especially those relating to small arms, to the security agencies without hesitation for immediate action. I want to repeat this statement. is a shared responsibility. And I also urge the public, that is those of you hearing me, to volunteer information on criminal activities, especially those related to small arms in your areas and your localities, to the security agencies without hesitation for immediate action. I appeal to landlords and all and sundry who are harboring criminals and gangs in their houses and in their neighborhoods, including hotels, to give them out.
Talking about weapons, yesterday the IGP, who also heads the Election Security Task Force, held a news conference at which he assured the nation of preparedness of the security agencies for the polls despite an increase in the number of flashpoints. But is the country really secured with the proliferation of arms in recent times? Well, you've heard earlier from the Small Arms Commission, which destroyed some of those weapons in Takoradi today. First, though, the emerging issue of some contraband weapons seized at the Tema port last month. The police explained at the news conference that those weapons are gas pistols, and that's the majority of those who were arrested have since been released.
The 436 pistols that were intercepted at Tema Port, investigation is ongoing. Initially, 6 persons were arrested, but as at now, we are holding on to 1 person. We have examined the weapons, and they are gas pistols. Gas pistols.
That's the Director General of the CID, COP, Ken Yeboah. Now, that appears to be a contradiction from the statement that was issued by the Ghana Revenue Authority. Fred Smith is a member of the security desk here at JoyNews. He joins me in the studio with some insights into that. Fred, so this is the statement, the GRA statement. But the details we have there, and I believe you take us through it, indeed, seems to be different from what we're being told right now.
Yes, indeed. On the 11th of October, as you see on the statement there, the GRA issued a statement because its agency, the Customs Division, they are responsible for checking goods coming into the country and all. So they intercepted this, and there were rumors spreading by the 10th of October, and so they were forced to come up with this statement. And if you see, this statement is very strongly worded, and it says the attention of the GRA has been drawn to information being circulated in the media about a consignment of goods that was seized by the Customs Division at the Tema Port on Friday, the 9th of October, 2020. And so this message says the container described on arrival at the Tema Port as containing personal effects and household goods and a carding machine was flagged as red channel. And after examination, they found 18 packages of items identified as restricted items, and these included 436 pistols, and these were sidearms, 26 packs of 50 pieces of ammunition, and 1 40 mil piece of pepper spray. That's the information that GRA gave us at the time, right, so that the rumors would stop. So the rumors indeed did stop, but if you look at the other part of the information, it says that these items had been imported into the country without the necessary permits from the Ministry of Interior. The items had also not been declared to customs on arrival. And the point 3 says an inventory of the items was taken in the presence of officers of the preventive wing of the Customs Division. Take note, the preventive wing is actually the wing that will have some security knowledge
training
into these areas, and so they are the ones who were deployed to go there. So they and the BNI, as well as the National Security and the police, were all there at the time of the inspection. So all of them, including the clearing agent, signed against the total number of arms and ammunition they had seized. So at this point, they were clear in their mind what they had seized. This was the 11th, according to the statement, the 11th of October, 2020, last month. And they agreed that they concluded that this is what they had, with all these security experts in there. So a seizure notice was issued to the clearing agent, and the seized consignment was placed in the custody of the Customs Division. So between that time and now, it's unclear how
what may have happened.
Yeah, how we came to the conclusion that those items, after being inspected by all of these security experts with such deep knowledge in weapons, were not able to establish at the time that they were gas pistols, and we're seeing that now.
Right.
At the conclusion of that GRA statement, if we may, it says that the Ghana Revenue Authority finds it worrying, mischievous, and premature any information that seeks to imply that the seized ammunition is being kept for onward release to some big men, in quote. The outcome of the investigation by the police on the restricted items will be made public when it is concluded. The authority uses this opportunity to caution all importers that the importation of arms and ammunition can be carried out only with a permit by the Ministry of Interior, and these items must be declared on importation. And Gifty, you were at this news conference.
Yes, and I actually asked the CID boss yesterday, because then the question was thrown to the IGP, who then called in the CID boss, and the answer he gave was that, so I asked him specifically, where are these weapons at the moment? And he said they are in the custody of the police. He says they're in the custody of the... Fred, just when you were going through that, I've been looking up the gas pistol.
Good.
So just an explanation of what a gas pistol is. We're told that it is a non-lethal weapon used for self-defense and other purposes. It is typically a close to exact replica or conversion of traditional handgun. So it does look or appear like a handgun, but it is able to fire tear gas cartridges only. Those are the details there. It's able to fire tear gas cartridges only, and the effective range is up to 4.5 meters depending on the caliber. But there's still questions that ought to be answered, Fred. Now, even if these weapons are what the CID is telling us it is, we still know that there are regulations bordering the importation of such items.
Weapons. And so how come they were not declared? And
the GRA states in that in the statement you just taken us through, that those processes seem to have been breached.
Indeed, they said it had been breached. And yesterday, we did not hear any information to the effect that they were indeed satisfied. So there is no information to the contrary. It means we go with what the GRA is saying. And but they did indicate, by the way, that the police will furnish Ghanaians with information after the investigations are done. Yes, and so, I believe that's what we had yesterday.
Right.
So is the police saying that these weapons are not that dangerous, and so people can just bring them in without authority? And we understand those who are arrested, a majority of these persons have also been released. I think we need to get to the bottom of this, because it does appear that something is not, adding up.
Again, yesterday there were a lot of questions that needed answers, so we couldn't exhaust the questions. But I believe that the CID will finish out with details as we go along. We've been trying to make some efforts, put in some efforts there, and as and when we have anything, we'll definitely share it with our audience. So just so you know, the 6 people who were arrested initially in connection with those ammunitions that were impounded, if you like, at the Tema port have been whittled down to 1 after the investigations, and were told by police CID that the weapons are not pistols. They're not real pistols. They are what we call gas pistols. I've showed you what it is. Fred, thank you very much. We'll certainly be looking up at this story. There were so many other agencies that were involved in this story, so we'll be checking with them as well to find out how the story checks out. But it's all about peace